Chapter 37, Episode 9, Final. The air was cold, freezing. I could feel my lungs burning like crazy with every deep breath I took. I stumbled forward, my legs feeling like I had dead weight strapped to my waist. I could hear cracks forming in my armor. The pieces that weren't already completely destroyed, trying their best to ruin themselves. It was hard to see. The hard wind was blowing snow to my eyes. None of it mattered though. All that mattered was the person laying on the ground. Cecilia Burkana, the one person in the world I would say I actually hated. And she wasn't doing herself any favors, either, by staring at me with the harshest glare she could give me. I felt anger building inside me. My grip tightened around the one sea blade I had left. Only a couple more steps and I would be in striking range. Iris, no! At this point, I wasn't sure who it was that was yelling at me. I didn't care. All I cared about was the sight of my rage in front of me. Our eyes met each other, matching rage against rage. One final step brought me as close as I needed to be. Don't do this! Another voice. Again, I couldn't have cared less about who it was or what they said. All I wanted was to make her pay for everything she'd done over these last few months. I could barely move the arm holding my weapon, and I couldn't even make the other budge. It took way more effort to raise my sea blade high enough over my head. Once it was, though, Burkina did the most unladylike thing I'd ever seen. She spat at my feet. You don't have the nerve, she said, almost growling the words at me. Oh, that was it. I was tired of dealing with Cecilia Burkina and everything she'd done to me. The people I care about and the people of Giga City. I tied my grip around my sea blade for a sec before bringing the sword down hard. And then the world started shaking under me. I floated around everywhere, trying to stay on my feet. In an instant, all the pain vanished and I could move perfectly fine. Once the shaking stopped, I looked around at all the people on the ground around me. Most of the faces were blurs, but some I could tell that they were still trying to yell at me, trying to talk me out of doing what I'd wanted to do. One held out a hand like they were trying to grab me. That wasn't the weirdest thing though. What was the fact that everything seemed to just freeze in place. The ground shook again, sending me stumbling around again. I didn't notice it the first time because it caught me off guard, but I processed the thought this time. There wasn't sound to go along with the earthquake. Maybe I'd seen too many movies and watched too many TV, but I thought earthquakes were supposed to at least have a little rumbling or growing too much amount of quaking. A third round started, and although I tried to keep myself stable this time, all I seemed to do was make myself nearly lose my balance. Don't ask how that happened. This earthquake lasted even longer than the ones before it. I shambled around so much, I nearly threw myself over the edge of the huge building. The only thing that stopped me was the ledge that caught my foot, which meant the fall totally wasn't my fault. I tried to scream, but nothing came out of my mouth. We were so high up, I wasn't sure whether I hit the ground or passed out first. Turns out, the latter was the answer to my question. Much faster than I expected, the pavement to one of the main parking lots on Burkina entrance seats came up to meet me. I screwed my eyes shut. I didn't want to see what was going to happen, even if I'd only catch a split second of it. Which made the incredibly overwhelming, yet too painful landing all the more surprising. Ow. I lay there for a minute, not wanting to open my eyes. I already knew what had happened to me. My emotions shifted from sheer terror to slight soreness and embarrassment. Well, I felt like a hand landed on my shoulder, shaking me slightly. Iris, a voice that somehow sounded like my dad cried out. Are you okay? The sound was time to get over with. I finally opened my eyes to acknowledge that I was back in my room. Well, on the floor of my room next to my bed with my blanket caught around me from the waist down. I was just glad it didn't land on my face. I was embarrassed enough as it was. I don't think I'd be able to live with them as if I'd managed to do that. Yeah, Dad, I'm okay. Just had a really weird dream. I'll say. Nowadays, a dream like that would have me terrified with the thought of what I was about to do. Then, well, it did still bother me, but not like today. I couldn't imagine myself actually going through with it. I didn't really want to, either. I started peeling myself on the ground. Apparently, at some point during the night, I'd broken into a sweat, which was why I was sticking to the floor. Once I was up, Dad told me he'd sketched my appointment for later on in the morning. Turned out it was only about 7:45 when my subconscious decided the floor would make for a better mattress than my, mattress. Thanks to that rude awakening, I had a hard time trying to get back to sleep. Which was odd, considering how long I was just laying in my bed, staring at my ceiling. I think the problem was that, instead of actually trying to get to sleep, my mind kept going over what happened in my dream. Why was Brianna's voice the only one I could hear clearly? Why was she the only one I could see, for that matter? And what had me so angry at her that I was going to do what I was about to do? I must have zoned out somewhere, because the next thing I knew, I somehow got myself to our car, and Dad was driving us out to the hospital where I got my synthetic leg. Heck, the only reason I'd even snapped to reality on the way over was because I'd gotten a text from Buki asking where I was today. I told her where we were going, and that maybe I'd talk to her later, depending on how the trip went. We drove on for nearly an hour, getting caught in traffic a couple of times in order to delay the inevitable. Once Peter came into view, I could feel cold shivers running all over me. Did I mention that I hate needles? Because I'm pretty sure I mentioned that I hate needles. Oh, by the way, I happen to hate needles. I've been to the hospital for this kind of thing a couple of times in the past. Many of them were very happy visits. Most of the time, all I can remember about those days after going the doors is pain. Lots and lots of pain. Another wave of shivers went off. With any luck, this visit would be much better than those. In the back of my mind was this tiny little doubt that it would. After all, this was the hospital that had a contract with Brianna Industries. I decided not to think about that, though. There was no real reason, to me at least, to think badly about the whole company that when I'd only ever met with one person from it. Mom, who I didn't even see get in the car with us, helped me get out once we were there. I don't think I've mentioned it before, but that hose in my leg probably came undone when I hit the deck, because I had a hard time trying to get it to move at all. Mom let me use her like a crutch, helping me lift my way inside. Thankfully, the doctor I went to was in his clinic away from the main entrance. Once Dad confirmed my appointment, we made our way to said clinic. It is the high point of visit with the doctor herself, Dr. Anesthesia. Yeah, go ahead and laugh at that one. She told me she didn't mind. She was nice that way. As much as I disliked hospitals and generally what went on in them, I felt comfortable with her. I sat in the patient chair in her exam room with the pen to my leg open. She took a look around, eyebrows scrunched in concentration. Mom and Dad waited outside. Well, I'm no mechanic, but I do believe this leg's taken on more use than it was intended to. I laughed a little. Well, I am kind of an athlete, and a maverick hunter, but she didn't need to know that. I remember. Karate, right? Well, it's good that you have a hobby that keeps you fit, rather than that some of these other patients I have. It's good for you to participate in something that lets you train yourself to control your prosthetic leg. The only problem is that it seems like it puts too much strain on your leg, which is wearing out your legs and turn faster than they're supposed to be going out. Here now started warming for a second. I'm not gonna have to stop taking karate, am I? No. In fact, as healthy as the rest of you is right now, I'd say you're on the right track. I just didn't count for an athletic lifestyle when I chose your particular prosthetic model. This one should last you for a little while longer as long as you don't overdo it, but I'll have to put in an order for a new one. She walked from the chair and into one behind her desk and started typing. Thankfully, BI just released a new model for someone like you. It would just take me a minute to get one ordered. After a few seconds of typing and clicking, Dr. Teacher gave a small, what's wrong? This is weird. Turns out you already had one in order, but I didn't place it. Uh-oh. I knew where that came from. The problem was that I was going to have to figure out an explanation for what happened. The only things that came to mind were telling her either a friend of mine or Mom I did for her, but that would have only raised more questions than answers. Oh well, wherever this came from, it saved me some time. She got up from her desk and came back to a confused me. Why would she just go with it? Shouldn't she have been worried about someone mess with her stuff online if they could get into her medical account? Didn't matter apparently, because at that point she'd give me instructions to see a medical mechanic, whatever that meant, and written instructions to exercise my leg lightly. After that, I was free to go. Mom and Dad took me to the guy who I needed to see, who did a better patch up on my leg's inner workings than either Miss Fair or I had done. Thanks to him, I was able to move my leg around again. Once that was done, we were on our way home. The one upside that came up having to go to the hospital was that, even though we finished the apartment early in the day, I had a perfectly valid excuse to miss the rest of school for the day. This was fine by me. I needed time to finish getting caught up on the schoolwork I was already late on, and now I had more piled onto. Thankfully, it didn't seem to be too much more work this time. I spent the rest of the day working my way through it until it was time for my karate class. For the most part, class was pretty uneventful. Mornings in the dojo are usually reserved for reviewing and retraining the things we learned over the week before. Class usually lasts about 3 hours, which would be early enough for the kids in class, including me, to get home for school the next day. About an hour and a half, in which I'm guessing at, since I didn't keep a clock in the dojo so that people wouldn't watch instead of what was going on around them for safety. Since I divided the class into 2 groups. Younger and less experienced students went to one side of the room to learn something new, while the older and more experienced of us were assigned to work through target drills. The idea behind the drills was simple. We'd pair off with another student in the class. One of us would wear padded mitts with targets on them. The other would practice their punches and kicks on them. A few minutes into the session, my opponent was in his stance getting ready to attack, when I suddenly felt a hand on my shoulder. I'm not sure how high I jumped, but I don't think I quite got to eye level with the ceiling lights. Oops, sorry, Sensei said behind me. My partner, whose name escapes me, laughed a little. Hey, I need to talk to you after class. He didn't give me a chance to answer before walking away to another pair of students to talk to him. I watched him for a second, seeing that he snuck up and surprised one of them too. Now, there's several pretty good reasons why he'd be able to catch people off guard. The dojo itself was pretty big. Our classes tended to be around 40 to 50 people, and we had plenty of room to move around with that many in one spot. Between that, the sounds of hand and feet smacking up padding equipment and all the peers sharing with each hit, it was pretty easy for soft sounds like footsteps to get lost in the mix. Still, it was almost freaking how often and easily he made people jump. A couple of hours passed before class came to an end. Once the final bouts were finished, people started filing out. Remember that Sensei wanted to talk to me about something, I headed over to the office at the back of the building. Sensei sat at his desk inside, tapping away at a data pad. I figured it was busy, so I just found an open chair and sat down. I crossed my shins and curled my toes tightly together. I was nervous, but I didn't want him to know it. About a minute or so, I guessed, silence passed before anyone said anything. So, he started. He paused for a second, looking suddenly over his data pad. You want to tell me about what happened at your school this week? That made me go bored stiff. I was expecting to hear about another chance at a belt test. I didn't think you'd know about that. Don't try to give me the silent treatment, young lady. He set that pad down at this point. I heard about the day it happened. You might as well tell me about it yourself. I took a deep breath. There wasn't any getting around it. It took a couple of minutes to explain everything. I decided to leave out the fact that we had a bunch of people watching though. I thought it would make it seem like I was bragging. Once I was done, he sat there for a minute, just looking at me. He moved his lips around, like he was thinking about what to say. After a minute or so, he finally said something. I have to say, I'm pretty disappointed. And that was me being done. You've been in my class for several years now, and you've been one of the best. You know what I expect of my students here. I dropped my head. I don't teach them martial arts so that my students can go out and get into fights. You're here to learn how to defend yourself as a last resort. I didn't answer. There wasn't really anything I could say to make things any better for me. You also know that one of my rules here is that if I find out that a student of mine is abusing what I'm teaching them, then they're no longer welcome here. He was tearing up. I'm not in the business of creating a violent environment around us. The purpose of this school is to help people better themselves, not make things worse around them. That being said, I'm going to let this little incident slide. I snapped my head up at this. Did I really hit that right? While I don't think you were in the right to let this other girl get you the way she did, I'm going to assume that there wasn't any way she was just going to let you walk away. But, you need to understand that this is the only free pass you're going to get. The next time I hear about something like this happening is over. Understand? I nodded my head. Yes, Sensei. It won't happen again. It better not. And with that, I practically raced out the office, got changed, and into the car that was waiting to pick me up. Once I was in, Mom, who'd come up to pick me up, gave me an odd look. You got out late? Yeah, Sensei needed to talk to me about something. The car started moving, taking us home. I was scared Mom didn't ask about what it was. Explaining that I got in trouble again for what happened at school. I took a look at the clock on the car's dashboard. It was early enough. Hey, do you think we could go back to the hospital? What for? I didn't answer, though I think she saw me looking at the clock. Without another word, she turned at the next intersection and started taking us to the hospital. There was one more thing I needed to do before I could call it a day.